Going on, guys? Welcome back to the Sidelines, episode 9. We are talking NFC Championship, AFC Championship, quarterbacks moving, basketball's going, hockey's going. Uh, what else? More stuff. There's all kinds of stuff going on. And yesterday was probably one of the greatest days of football I've ever had in my life. In my life. That's how good the games were yesterday. So what do we
In
got? What do we
your
got for tonight?
life. Yeah, I mean, you just went right through it. We conference championship games yesterday. We had Tom Brady heading to another Super Bowl, which is should not surprise
Double
anybody.
digits.
And like you said, QB's on the move. So we have a couple guys or three guys that are trying to go elsewhere. So we can touch on that, and then we're gonna go ahead and try to get our hashtag rolling again, and hopefully we get some input from the chat, and we'll get rolling with that. And right off the bat, I see Bill is on and ready to roll, and
Bill.
he is all about the NFC champs, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right. What you think of those games yesterday? Just a kind of a quick overall,
honestly,
and then we'll dive into each one.
I'd rather talk about the Chiefs game first than talk about the Bucs game.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. Go ahead. What are your thoughts?
That was the second game of the night. And I'm kind of glad that the game went the way it did, because I feel like anybody that was watching football yesterday didn't have the energy after that Tampa Green Bay game to handle another game like that one. This game was on. It looks a little closer than it actually was. Kansas City completely ran this game. I will say, maybe the first couple possessions, Buffalo might have thought they had a chance going up early 9-0 off of the fumble from Mecole Hardman. But Kansas City, man, I mean, they are just, like, I know we always talk about how they almost seem like they're bored in the second half of some of these games. This is what they look like when they're not bored the second half of the games. I mean, it was like they were trying to break records. I mean, let's start out with the one record I know that stood out was Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, first duo to have over 100 yards receiving each in playoff games. I mean, it just, like, that one alone, the Travis Kelce record. I think this was his eighth or ninth game with at least 7 receptions. I mean, the numbers were like astronomical. So I'm just gonna lower my heart rate and let you talk for a little bit.
Well, I mean, I tell you what, I think I am ready to declare. I mean, obviously the Chiefs, that's Patrick Mahomes' team, but I think I'm ready to say that Travis Kelce is the most important part of that offense, and not Tyreek Hill, other than Patrick Mahomes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, I don't think I'm it's no hashtag sideliners opinion with that. I mean, I think that's just the truth. 13 catches, $118, 2 touchdowns. I mean, Tyreek Hill goes for 9 for 172, but still,
I think a 70-yard catch.
Kelce's right, but I think Kelce's the guy that makes it go. If you neutralize him, I think that you have a much better shot of winning a game. And when we start talking about Super Bowl, we'll start talking about what Tampa can do about that. But I mean, I was feeling pretty good about my picks, a couple of minutes into that game, and then all of a sudden, the Chiefs decided, hey, this is a real game, and we can go to the Super Bowl, and it was over. I mean, there is no shot. It was the first time, I think, this year that I watched some of the Buffalo game and thought the moment's just a little too big for these guys at right now. Josh Allen, while the numbers don't look horrible, they look rattled. They stopped Diggs. He went 6 for 77. Just never really could get going. Other than the short field that they had, they just couldn't get going. The Chiefs are that's a tough team, man. That's some bad dudes out there. So
yeah,
it's gonna be fun to watch in the Super Bowl. It's a good matchup, but I mean, not a whole lot to be said about that game. I don't know.
I mean, it says a lot with with saying that they were able to stop Stephon Diggs and he still had 77 yards receiving just goes to show how good of a receiver he is. But once
Yeah.
again, third week in a row, my boy Darrell Williams steps up, leads the Chiefs in rushing yards, gets a touchdown. Uh, but I am excited. I am excited for Pat Mahomes going to second straight Super Bowl. That was his third AFC Championship game in a row. Um, I mean, this is a train that this is like when the Golden State Warriors were on their run and they were like, how do you stop them? You just wait for their contracts to run out and then go play for other teams. That's the only way that you can stop the Chiefs right now, because there is no
Yeah.
stopping this team. At least in the AFC, there is no stopping them. I don't see anybody that is a formidable matchup for them. And like you said, I
Yeah.
think we called it last week where this game was a little too important and it was a little too big for Josh Allen. I think if they can get there again next year, I think it's definitely going to be a little closer. I see no reason that there wouldn't be another rematch. Like this could be the rematch next year for the AFC Championship game.
I think if anything, the Bills probably need to look into that running game. They got through the season with a suspect running game, and I think this game finally just caught up to them. While you look at the running numbers for Kansas City are not like extremely impressive, but you feel like at some point if they need to run, they can, and they have enough guys that can do enough of the running, whether it be Miko Hardman, hand off for 50 yards or Patrick Mahomes take it off if he needs to. They just have a bunch of guys that can run the football, and you feel like if they needed to, um, they can do it. When you look at the Bills, I mean, their leading rusher yesterday was Josh Allen, 88 yards.
How many times has that happened?
They yeah, I think he led them. He probably led them a bunch this year. Um, but I just think that they need to give him a little bit of help, moving forward,
Yeah.
so that they can be a little bit more balanced, and then they can take some of that pressure off of Diggs. Beasley had a good game, 7 for 88. Um, you know,
Buffalo sucks.
they have some weapons there. They just need
Yeah.
to get that running game rolling, and Singletary just hasn't panned out. That loss of Moss, I think you hit on it when they lost him.
Yeah.
I think you were mentioning that it can come back to bite them, and I think just just not having that running game, I think is just it kind of really screwed him up. So, but other than that, like I said, not much to say. I mean, I guess we expected it.
Yeah.
I thought it would be a closer game, all the way through, and it just kind of never panned out.
Well, I think the one the one bright spot and the feel good moment of the whole game was after Mecole Hardman fumbled in the first quarter. I mean, you could tell Kelsey was talking to him, trying to get him back into it. He kind of threw his helmet down a little bit, and what do? They come back.
Right.
He breaks off a 50-yard run and then catches a touchdown right after that. Like there was, like Patrick Mahomes knew what he had to do to get his guy back on track. His teammates knew what needed to be done to get them back on track, and they did what needed to be done. And you could see it from there. Like it was, the floodgates were open, and now they were allowed to have fun. Like we made up for it. We're back on it.
Yeah.
Let's go. And they didn't let. I mean, they didn't take their foot off the pedal the whole night. And kudos to them. And on to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, yeah, and you know what? You can see it watching the game. You can see that Kansas City's playing, and just like Mahomes was saying to Mika Harbin after, he's like, "Hey man, you're gonna make a big play in this game. You're gonna make a big play in this game. You got this." Trying to get his guy,
Mm-hmm.
back around. And you felt like that can happen at any time, and it did. And then on the other side of the coin, you look at Buffalo and you feel like everything has to be perfect for them to have a shot to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
And at the beginning of the game, it was happening. You know what I mean? They go down there, the first drive, they get three. It was a good drive. And then on the next, boom, you get a fumble, you get a short field, you score a touchdown, you're feeling good about it. If anything, once Bass misses that extra point, I thought, okay.
Yeah.
This is I hope it's not a sign of things to come. And sure enough, bam, it was. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
The puzzle pieces
Second
started falling
quarter,
off.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, very, very, very small margin of error for them. So, yeah, it is. It's we'll see what happens. I mean, I agree with Bill. I don't see a reason why they won't be back. Josh Allen, hell of a year. Stephon Diggs, they had a great connection. What did you think of Stephon Diggs at the end there? You know, sticking around for the trophy celebration and all.
I mean, I mean, to me, I mean, I'd want to do the same thing. I guess after a year like that, I don't know. I feel bad because Stephon Diggs is so good, and even I mean, I had the opportunity to get him as my number two wide receiver this year, and I didn't think he was going to do it. I didn't think Josh Allen was going to do what he did, and it's kind of weird because now they're getting that close. I mean, it wasn't like they are progressively getting better. Like they got good overnight because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just it's weird. It's weird and it's tough to see, but it's exciting for them because they have a fairly young team, and like Cole Beasley is I think he's kind of like the Scotty Miller of Buffalo, where just
Yeah.
everybody loves it when the Buffalo sauce is on the field. So I don't know. I mean, it was a great game, and it was good to see Stephon Diggs. At least he had a good game. I mean, I'm not going to give it take it away from him. So
Yeah. And I heard that Cole Beasley had a broken fibula at some point this year and was playing through some stuff. I mean, if you want to talk about a guy that is just, playing his ass off, for
yeah,
the team and trying to do his thing, credit to him. Jesus, broken fibula is no joke. And this guy, goes through a whole, the rest of the season like that. So,
well, I mean he's got an extra one.
yeah.
He's
That's
got
right.
two of them.
That's right. But I guess that kind of, it goes to this game, where we're talking a bunch about the Bills and what they can do to get better and be back next year, and we're just kind of like, we expected this
Hmm.
from the Chiefs, so I guess we shouldn't prolong it anymore, man. Let's go into
Oh,
into what everybody is talking about, and Tampa Bay and Green Bay. Um, as advertised, for a moment there, it looked like it wasn't, but sure enough, Green Bay comes rolling right back in the second half, gets into it, and a suspect call at the end. Um, some people like it, some people don't. Uh, what are your thoughts?
well, the Mike Evans touchdown in the beginning of the game I think was the the least exciting moment of the whole game. I was glad he caught one, got into the game, got the motor rolling, but then after that, I mean, it was just that second quarter was just there was a lot more to it. I mean, it was 21-10 at the halftime, but it was, Valdez Scantling catching the 50-yard touchdown, Leonard Fournette doing a Madden NFL run, hitting the juke stick, and I mean, like I even texted you. He hit the spin and then scored. I was like, no way. Like I watched
Yeah,
it back a couple times,
yeah,
but it was this was one of those games on paper. Tampa should not have won this game. Uh, Tom Brady throwing three picks, which does not
mm,
happen. And I'm
yeah.
I'm curious what the stat line is on the history of Tom Brady when he throws more than one interception in a game. Um, that's something we'll
It's
have to
not
look
great.
into. It can't
It's
be
not
that great.
great.
I mean, I mean, you're looking at the numbers again. Leonard Fournette came up big for them. It was good to see, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin having a really big game. Scotty Miller catching that touchdown was probably my favorite highlight because he
Yeah,
was more excited than the people, than the fans. I think. I mean, everybody gets excited when Scotty Miller scores. But Aaron Jones, man, he got shut down, and I think that was the
yeah,
real reason Green Bay lost this game was the Tampa defense was able to
yep.
contain the run. Um, it was I mean it was a great game though. It was 31-26, fourth quarter just a couple field goals, but second and third quarter, man, that was some fun football to watch.
Yeah, yeah. When the game started and Brady looked really sharp, to come out, and Mike Evans looked engaged and looked like he was going to have, a monstrous game. And truth be told, I thought Mike Evans left some to be desired in that game. I thought that a couple of the picks, one of them went off his hands a little high. I can put that on Brady, but the other one was just a series of events there to for that pick. And I'm talking about the one that he threw. I think it was his last pick where he just chucked one up there.
Yeah, down the right side.
And
Yep.
yeah, and first of all, Leonard Fournette, you're a big boy. You need to know how to pick up a blitz. He looked like Freeman in the Super Bowl
He
for
went left, and the guy came from the
I
right.
mean, Jesus. I mean, it was bad. So Brady chucks one up there and thinks Mike Evans knows that this is a one-on-one on the outside. And I'm going to throw you a ball, and Evans doesn't even know the ball's coming to him.
Yeah.
Like the guy picks off the ball.
He caught it before Mike Evans turned his head.
And then he turns around and goes, "Oh, he caught it." It's like you don't even know the ball's coming to you, bro.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, you have to do a better job there. A little bit more awareness, but they got away with it. Their defense, stepped up when they needed to, made some big plays, and I mean, I don't know where you stand on Aaron Rodgers and his all-time greatness, but it's starting to seem like big moments are not his thing.
Well, he wasn't playing Dallas for first off. The only time these big moments pay off is when he's playing Dallas for some reason. I don't know what it is, but every catch against Dallas is either a penalty their way or an amazing catch, and we're just baffled at what happened. So, I won't take that away from old AA Ron.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, you look at it. I mean, that the Tampa D is what got him over the hump, man. The exception of Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who went 115.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Devontae Adams had 9 catches, 67 yards. Alan Lazard 3 for 62. I mean, there was a lot of yards in the game. I mean, he threw for 346. So overall, he spread the wealth, and you can look at it in that sense. But their heavy hitters got shut down, like you already mentioned. Aaron Jones, didn't do much for. I mean, he carried the ball 6 times for 27 yards. They ran the ball as a team for 67 yards. I think overall the moment was just too big for the whole team. I think obviously that, 4th down field goal at the end, when you're down 8, I don't know what the hell LaFleur is thinking there. I mean, if you want to talk about a crap in your pants moment, I mean, that's what happened there. I mean, you go last week with Andy Big Balls Reed over there and going for it on 4th down to try to seal the game, and here you are down 8. For crying out loud, bro! I think you're down 8 on the 8-yard line. Go for it. You know what I mean? Aaron Rodgers, you're down 8. You have the seas are parting in front of you. On 3rd down, and you decide to throw the football. Yeah, you go back and you say, well, we thought we were going to go for it on 4th down. So if the crap is there, take it, man. What are you doing?
Yeah.
It was just, like I said, a bunch of stuff that just came together for them to collectively crap their pants and just not do what they needed to. And then on the other side, Tampa got away with some mistakes on offense, but they did what they needed to down the stretch. Brady was slinging the ball, he had some zip on it. And again, some guys just making some tough catches. Tyler Johnson, again, 1 catch for 16 yards, a big first down. I think it was like 3rd and 14, and he catches the ball for 16 yards. I mean, one team doing what they needed to with a guy who's been doing it for 20 plus years and is the GOAT of all GOATs, and a guy whom everybody wants to throw out there as, the greatest of all time, and just continually craps his pants when the moment gets big.
Yeah, it was tough to watch, but I think we both predicted that was going to be the outcome. Was Tampa, Kansas City. This is what everyone wants to see. Arguably the greatest quarterback of all time going up against what could end up being the greatest quarterback of all time from a statistical standpoint. It's going to be fun to watch, man. February 7th. Super Bowl 57? Is it 57?
I don't even know which one it is. It's a lot of them.
It's got to be 57 because Baby Blocker was born on Super Bowl 50. She was born on Super Bowl 50. Okay.
Bam.
And
look at that.
I think, and it's 55. It's 55. She was born. She turned 2 on Super Bowl 50. That's what it was, and she turned 7 this year on Super Bowl 55. Man.
We're all over the place here today.
Time flies.
Man, and you know what? I mean, just history. I mean, at the
end
of the day,
so much this year, dude.
Tom Brady, freaking I posted it yesterday on Twitter. Greg Olson retires after 14 seasons
Hmm.
in the NFL. I think people would look at it and say, here. His 14 seasons in the NFL, and Tom Brady was playing yesterday in his 14th conference championship. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, 21-year career, 2/3 of your career you're playing in a conference championship game, and like 40 something percent of it you're playing in Super Bowls. If he's not the goat of all goats, I don't know, who is.
I think it's higher than 45% now because it was 45% going into this year. He made the Super Bowl. And just for that statistical anomaly, by the way, Tom Brady is 3-1 now when he throws 3 interceptions in a playoff game. So there
Mm,
you go.
okay, okay. But hey, as a Patriots fan, I watched that with a tear in my eye, but rooting for the goat. Um, it just is what it is. I mean, the guy is just he's awesome, I don't see an end in sight. I mean, obviously he's not the guy that he was 10 years ago, but do you think that he can't go out there next year and do the same thing again?
Well, I think before I even worry about that, I want to see how the Super Bowl goes. Um, the if he wins, if you win, there's no reason you don't play again unless he wants to go out on top. Um, I think that's going to be the real big question: is does Gronk have another one in the tank to play with Brady? Uh,
He
you
already
know,
said he wants to come back.
yeah, I saw the two of them. I saw a video of the two of them walking on the tarmac. Tom Brady with his white jacket on. He strolls over and Gronk lifts his shirt up and it says NFC champs. Um,
Yep.
so I think there's got to be some kind of statistic here that we're not seeing with the whole quarterback tight end combo and Super Bowl wins in different conferences or something. Again, this is some bottom of the barrel record stuff that I'm gonna have to dig up. But I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it because that's the stuff that I like. That's why I like sports is records.
Yeah.
Records are there to be broken. Records are there to just blow your mind, man. And I'm excited to see what's gonna happen because if they win on February 7th, there's got to be some records that are going to be shooting around all over the place.
You got it. I think the NFL has to start thinking about naming some stuff after Brady for crying out loud. Whatever it is. I
The
mean, at
Lombardi
this point,
Trophy,
I mean, instead of the conference championship, it was like the Brady Invitationals or something. You know what I
something,
mean?
yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just unbelievable. And for everybody that thought he was a system quarterback playing in New England, it's all Belichick. You know what? Yeah, he has some weapons in Tampa, but you know what? I think Bruce Arians himself has said it several times already. I just let the guy coach and I let him do his thing. And I think, and once he realized as a coach, just get out of the damn way.
Yeah.
I think that's when the team got going. And keep in mind, I mean, yesterday they had no Antonio Brown on the field. So, I mean, Chris Godwin 5 for 110. Mike Evans, wasn't great. Scotty Miller had the big catch. Gronk only one catch, but it was a
Leonard
big
Fournette,
one.
yeah. I mean, they've got
You
all the
know,
weapons in place. They've got the defense. I mean, again,
and
this
I
team is
I
scary
think
good.
that's the big one for them, man. I think that's the big one for them. They were getting after Aaron Rodgers.
Hmm.
They were not letting him get out of the pocket and run around. That defense is just they're playing lights out. Now they did lose a safety yesterday. I'm not sure what the status is. I mean, he's got 2 weeks to get back, so I think it was a shoulder injury. But overall, man, I like their chances. I don't know. I will do picks as we move along. Probably next week.
Oh
But
man,
I really do like their chances. They're at home. They don't have to travel. They have all the comforts of home. Um, it's
they're
gonna
playing
be
at home in the Super Bowl. I mean,
that's
this is crazy.
you know what? I think Tom Brady decided on Tampa, knowing full well
Yep,
I
we're in
might
the
have a
Super Bowl
shot at
this
this
year.
crap.
Yeah,
Wherever it is, I'm going there. You know what I mean? It's just unbelievable. What we saw yesterday. Um, yeah, J. Rod says JPP had a monster game. He sure did. He sure did. I mean,
yeah.
all those guys just stepped up and
Honestly,
you
Shaquille
know,
Barrett had a better game than him, and nobody really even mentioned it. 3 sacks, five
yeah,
tackles. I mean, they did a lot. They did a lot that game. That defense. But again, looking into the future is Tampa's got a lot of guys on this bubble that could not be on that team next year. And Ndamukong Suh could be gone. Levante David could be gone. I think who was it? Devin White might be gone. I mean, there's some heavy hitters on that defense that might not be there next year, and will hopefully
Yeah.
end up in Dallas.
I don't know about that, but you know what? But that when you look at it though, that's what won them this game. Obviously, I think it was complementary football at the biggest way you can see it, right? Because they hang 21 in the first half, and
Mm-hmm.
they're looking great. They're up 21-10, and then the wheels start falling off a little bit on the offense in the second half. They only put up 10 points, in the third quarter. Green Bay starts making a charge. They put up, 13 points, start closing in a little bit, and what happens? The defense picks it up, and they pick up their offense for the second half to close it out.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about complimentary football, for crying out loud, I mean, you can't. I mean, you can't do it any better than that. One side of the football picking the other one up, when they needed the most. So,
Green Bay
yeah,
had an
man.
opportunity, man. I mean, they had a chance to win this game multiple times, and again, like you said, the defense really stepped up because you throw 3 picks against Aaron Rodgers, 9 times out of 10 you're losing that game.
Yeah.
Unless you're Tom Brady. So, the hope is that Tom Brady throws 3 interceptions in the Super Bowl. That'll increase their chances of winning, apparently, based on the stats that I'm seeing. um,
Somewhere out there, Jameis Winston is going, I can throw picks. I can throw
yeah,
picks.
I
Why
can
am
throw
I not there?
interceptions. I'm good at this. Yeah,
you know,
Drew Brees should have gave me
J-Rob,
the ball.
J-Rob makes a good point. So, if they're the visiting team, will they be in a visitor's locker room? I mean,
It's
who
possible.
knows? I'm not sure who the home team and the visitors are going to be there, but I mean, either way, the fact that they are able to sleep in their own homes, and drive to the stadium that day
Yeah.
is going to be, wherever you get dressed is probably not going to matter, all things considered, when you're sleeping in your own bed versus the other team sleeping in a hotel. Um, you know, it's going to be a hell of a game to watch. Let me tell you, it's going to be a spectacle. It's a shame that we won't have a full house. You know what I mean? I'm glad they're going to
Yeah.
be able to fit some people in there. I'm glad the NFL is doing what they're doing. They're going to go ahead and put in there the frontline workers. Kudos to them for coming up with that. But it's a shame that we won't have a packed house
hmm
there for a true home field for for Tampa. Yeah, 22,000. Like Bill says. I mean,
That's a lot. We got to get Bill. We got to get Bill to get us some tickets, man. We got to figure this out. I think we might have to
we
take out a second mortgage on my house and
we'll
get
have
to
to do
this game
something.
somehow.
Sell
We
a
got to at
kid or
least go
something.
and
I don't know.
tailgate.
We have to figure out a way to do something, man. I mean, get down there and talk to Brady. Maybe I can make him cry like that kid did a couple years ago when he
Yeah.
asked him a question in the media day. It's going to be interesting just seeing the whole thing, how it all works. Media day, normally you got a big conglomerate of people just rolling around this,
Oh yeah.
convention center. And this year, I'm sure they ain't going to have anything like that. It's probably going to be all virtual. I mean, what
Well,
the
you got
hell
to
are they
remember
going to
though,
do?
this is Florida we're talking about. This is the state of Florida. Okay. We don't exactly
Abide
care
by the rules?
about any of this stuff. So I mean, we've got Florida. And like this is Florida. We don't. Yeah, we don't necessarily do things the same way around here. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is just, I mean, 50, 60,000 people going just to tailgate. Um, and I would be completely behind that because the city needs it, the team needs it, and this is big news not only for Tampa but for Florida sports in general, just to kind of get a little attention, because this is way more important than the Pro Bowl we've had the last few years, way more important, and it's probably going to be way more fun. So
Yeah, it's I mean, Florida has done well, man, overall the last this past year. You have
yeah,
the NHL with Bills Lightning. Blah.
yeah, go
You
Bolts.
have the Rays with the Rays are probably the one team in Florida that were not affected by the pandemic. They were looking at it going, so we're playing with nobody in the stands. We're kind of
We're
used to
used to
that,
that.
man.
Yeah, we're used
Yeah,
to that.
it's just and now Tampa, with the Bucks, it's just man, it's just Brady. Wherever he goes, he just taps it on the shoulder and boom, there it is. I mean,
I think
it's
it's
something
Whoop.
else.
Whoop, there it is.
Whoop, there it is.
There it is. So
All right.
I'm gonna skip forward here a little bit. I know we were gonna talk about the hashtag sideliners opinion. We might bypass that tonight because I wanted to talk about Hank Aaron. Um, we lost a huge legend, not just in the baseball world, in the sports world, but I mean he was a national icon, international icon. If you were into baseball in any other country, um, arguably one of the greatest baseball players of all time, in my opinion, still the home run leader all time. Um,
Yeah.
and I will argue that with anybody. I mean, 755 home runs. If you take away his home runs, he still had over 3,000 hits in his career. So
Yeah.
that's kind of saying something. Um, but yeah, it was a big loss, man, and you hate to see. I mean, it was bound to happen eventually, but you never want it to happen. And
Yeah.
I think he made the All Star team every year of his career except for his rookie season and the last season he was in the league. I mean, the amount of stats and records this guy has, it's insane, insane.
Yeah.
Walked more times than he struck out in his career. Played in
Wow.
145 or more games in 16 consecutive seasons. Only won the MVP award one time though.
Hmm.
So the cool thing was I did see he had 10 seasons where he hit 30 or more home runs and had fewer than 65 strikeouts. So
Wow.
that is a statistic that you might want to hold on to right there because I'm pretty sure that is the most in Major League Baseball history.
Yeah. 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 It's. I mean, you want to talk about, like you said, a true legend. Um, did things the right way. Probably, obviously, in a time where it wasn't always the easiest. Went out there, did his thing. Um, I mean, the career numbers are just. I mean, what can you say? Holy crap, man! I mean, it's just mind blowing. Like you said, you can take away, home runs, and he still has a bunch of hits. I mean, it's just overall.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I am not as big a baseball historian as you are. I know that on your side of the family, you guys are big on
Whew.
baseball, and um, but still, I mean, you just you just know what you have there, and there's
Yeah.
some guys that you don't have to know a lot about a sport that when you hear the name, you know exactly who people are talking about, and you respect it, and yeah, Hank Aaron is definitely one of those guys. I mean, for anybody who's a baseball fan, for
Yeah.
anybody who's just a fan of baseball and of good people, Hank Aaron is right up there with and second to none. I mean, he is. It's a shame.
Yeah.
It is sad. And with this whole COVID thing and everything, we'll see how he's remembered when the season starts. And um, it's just a shame that this is happening and that he passed at this time because he deserves to get recognized in the absolute, best way. And we'll see what Major League Baseball does for that.
Well, and the cool thing, with me, I was able to go to Turner Field before they quit playing there before the new stadium came out and they had the Hank Aaron
Mm-hmm.
bust. I was able to get a picture with that. But the one cool stat I did see was that he played in more All Star games than seasons he played in the league, which
Mm,
doesn't make sense to people. But from 1959 to 1962, they played two All Star games every year because the players wanted to make more money. So
yeah,
he actually played in 25 All Star games in 23 seasons. Um, but the biggest milestone I did see was his total bases. He has 722 more total bases than Stan Musial. Obviously, Hank Aaron's number one, but putting that into actual distance, he has 12 miles of bases more than Stan Musial, who's in second. 12 miles of bases that he ran.
yeah,
So, I
yeah,
mean, I could go on and on about Hank Aaron and how badass that guy was. And not to mention that he was a person of color, which I think definitely made him stand out even more so. Because back then, it wasn't the same, but people were drawn to him.
yeah,
When you were a successful black athlete back then, it was a whole different story. I mean, you were like royalty above anybody else.
yeah,
And it was great to see Hank Aaron to be that legend and to see so many kids that that grew up, in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, saying Hank Aaron was their favorite player. You're going up to bat in Little League. You're Hank Aaron. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're Hank Aaron, unless
Yeah.
you were the beefy kid, the catcher. You were obviously Babe Ruth because you were built more like him. But other than that, man, I mean, you were trying to go yard every time. You were trying to pull the Hank Aaron every time.
Yeah. Yeah. Hammer and Hank, man. It's going to be, you know what? And it happens in threes. You end up losing, these people
Yeah.
in threes and unfortunately, and yeah, I like I said, I know you're a big baseball historian, and I'm glad to hear you talk, the way you do about it, and it's just a sad moment there for baseball. How do we segue from that? Holy crap, man!
Well,
Appreciate that.
you know, I don't know. I mean, we could go into some
Well, I wanted to talk about the quarterbacks. We talked about it
oh
on our
yeah, yeah,
pregame.
yeah.
Some guys that are they're doing a little bit of bitching and whining, and I get a little bit tired of guys bitching
Perfect
and whining.
segue.
Yeah, from a stand up, great human being to a bunch of $1 million whiners. But yeah, we have quarterbacks that want to be on the move. One of them deserves to be on the move. The other ones need to just shut up and play. Or as they told LeBron, I think it was one time, shut up and dribble.
That's it.
Big shout out here to only one Cleasy here who's joining us. That's my good bud Clyde.
Cleasy.
Coming along there.
Gangsters, what's up, guys?
Yeah, man. The first one we'll talk about is the big one yesterday who came out there, ticked off as all hell because they could go for it on fourth down. Aaron Rodgers says, I don't know what the hell's going to happen next year. My future's up, in the air, and so is a bunch of other guys. So what the hell's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers?
He's not going anywhere, first off, because, I mean, the only reason he would leave is for a paycheck, and I don't think anybody can afford him. I mean, I don't know. I can't. He's not going to leave Green Bay. If anything, they're going to reassess the coaching situation before they let Aaron Rodgers go. And that's my prediction when it comes to that, because this was similar to what happened, when the year before or the 2 years before when they had the other coach. It was one of those things where it was like, well, who do we keep? You don't let talent go. You can get a coach anywhere, but again, Aaron Rodgers is similar to one of those kind of Tom Brady like guys where he can command a game. He can run a game himself. He sees things that the coaches don't see, and he's not going anywhere. I don't think he's going to leave.
Well, here's the deal. Aaron Rodgers is 37 years old, and he's been banged up left and right, right? At the end of the day, do you have a situation there with like Brady and Kraft where Kraft told Bill Belichick, you have to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo because we need to keep Brady, right? I think that if you don't have a situation like that in Green Bay, I can very well see him leaving. And I think that relationship with the organization and with the head coach has been fractured. One, right off, I mean, they didn't seem to have fun the first year that LaFleur was there, even though they won, which is incredible because they've been winning.
Yeah.
Two, he hated the fact that they went out there and selected a quarterback. And I believe they moved up to get a freaking quarterback. And he's looking at it going, what the hell? I mean, get me a wide receiver, get me something else. But why the hell are you drafted a quarterback? So he went into the season, and Aaron Rodgers was playing pissed off. And people are like, oh, he's a bad man. He's playing pissed off with the organization. He was mad at those guys. You know what I mean? And he took it out on the league. Yeah, he's probably going to be the league MVP. Well-deserved. But he's 37 years old. He's been dinged up. So why would you go ahead and kind of restart this thing with another coach and keeping Aaron Rodgers when he is, one hit away from, crumbling? I believe that his 37 is very, very different than Tom Brady's 43.
Well,
in the sense that,
I mean, you said he was the MVP. He's still banged up, and he's still the MVP. I mean, he's still putting up the numbers.
I agree with it. I told you this earlier when we were talking about the game. He finds a way to crap his pants when the moment gets big. I don't know. He just can't seem to get over the hump. I can see him going somewhere else. Now, the problem is where. And I'm probably going to have to eat my words if he all of a sudden decides that he wants to go to New England. I mean, I'm gonna have to just suck it up and become an Aaron Rodgers fan.
Patriots uniform.
I think he's gonna want to go somewhere to the West Coast. I can see him maybe going to like San Fran or something like that. San Fran's looking to move on from Jimmy G. The right guy is there. Try to get that thing restarted. But the thing about it is, where's he going to go? What team is he has to go to a team, right, that thinks that they're one quarterback away from getting over the hump, because he's not going to be there for 10 years.
And he doesn't want to go to a team that's not going to compete. And that's the big thing. I mean, I'd love to see George Kittle and Aaron Rodgers on the same team, but I don't know. I mean, I could maybe see him moving to an AFC team. But I mean, it's not like he's going to go to the Jets. It's not like he's going to go to, Jacksonville or some scrub team that's not going to be able to do anything. I don't know. I mean, I could maybe see the wildest thing I would imagine is maybe see an Aaron Rodgers trade that would include a draft pick going into next year. So I guess technically this year. So
a draft pick, it'll take a bunch of draft picks to get him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's going to take a first round pick to where they can make a move on one of these talented young bucks that are coming into the league. Is it my turn now to name a quarterback and figure out where they're going to go?
Well,
am I up?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, we had 3 or 4.
Fitzpatrick. Let's talk about the Harvard legend. I am predicting he will be backing up Russell Wilson next year in Seattle. That's my pick.
Really?
Ryan Fitzpatrick is one of those guys that you only need him for one game. And it doesn't matter what game it is, he will come in and play at an elite level. If you need him for 2 or 3 games, but he's got that one game mentality where there's a reason they call him Fitzmagic. And I can see that happening in Seattle. I got the vibes. I'm wearing my Seattle colors tonight. I'm just saying.
I mean, that's kind of blindsided me with wanting to go there, honestly, because there's a couple other names.
Keep going.
There's a couple other names there that we can go to and we will go to, but at this point, if you're Miami, if you decide to keep Tua and you don't go with one of the guys that we're going to talk about here soon, why not keep him? You know what I mean? To back up Tua. I don't know. I think for him, if I'm Fitzmagic, I'm looking at it going, I need to go to New England. And the reason for it, not because I want him there, but because he's played for every other damn AFC East team. So why not just cover them all?
Yeah, that would be awesome. He just plays
get
for
in there,
team.
Get the big beard over there with the Patriots uniform, playing for Bill Belichick. Some Fitzmagic.
That'd be sweet to see. I would totally back that.
It'd be a little crazy, but he's definitely going to be gone if they go ahead and make a trade for Deshaun Watson, who wants to get the heck out of the Texans, and apparently now he's saying, I don't care who the heck you hire. I'm leaving. I don't want out. Yeah. He wants out, man. Deshaun Watson wants out.
Well,
where the heck is he going to go?
There is one team you are forgetting about, and that is a team that can compete for a Super Bowl. The New Orleans Saints are going to need a quarterback. And I don't think Jameis Winston is their guy. And so you want to talk about Deshaun Watson and Aaron Rodgers and Phillip Rivers and these guys? There's a team out there.
He gone.
Yeah, but there's a team out there that can immediately jump to the top of the NFC with a small quarterback change. So, just saying, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers is a little bit of a height difference. Deshaun Watson got a cannon of an arm, got the speed, got the wheels that Drew Brees doesn't have. I mean, there's a dynamic there from both ends that could easily flip New Orleans into being the best team in the NFC.
Apparently, he doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to go there. He keeps saying Miami or the Jets. And apparently, the Jets are his number one destination that he wants, which is
maybe
kind of odd. But I don't know. That's a weird one there. He
Yeah.
wants to get the hell out of Dodge, and I don't know this quarterback carousel that we're getting ready to see. It's going to be pretty fun. Um, he says if Watson goes to the Saints, the NFC South is a lock for
It's a
the
lock.
Saints.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, but you're still dealing with the GOAT, Clyde. You're still dealing with the GOAT, and you can hate on him all you want unless Tom Brady leaves. I mean, shoot, he goes there, and in 1 year he has the same amount of NFC Championship games as Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers. 1 year in the NFC, 1 year. So yeah, I think the NFC right now is going, geez, now we know what the AFC felt like for years with Tom Brady there. So it's gonna be an interesting watch there to see where Watson goes, because he's the youngest one out of all those guys, and he's very dynamic. Like you said, he's got a cannon for an arm. I don't know that I'm the biggest Watson fan, but he can play. He hasn't had much luck with guys on his team. They traded away his best receiver.
And he still had a great year.
Yeah. It's just that team. I feel like they need to just blow up. Yeah. You're wasting away J.J. Watt, even though he's been banged up. But you're wasting away J.J. Watt.
It's like they're that puzzle that's put together, and it's missing a few pieces, and then someone else comes in and says, "I'll finish the puzzle for you," and they start taking the pieces out and throwing them in a trash can. And so now it's like, well, we can kind of see the picture, but why do we keep messing it up? We're just like it's jumbling it, and they're tying it into knots and knots and knots and knots to where now it's getting harder and harder to untie this thing and figure out what's going on.
Yeah, it's weird, man. It's weird. And the last name on our list, man, that I threw in here, and this one to me is the most interesting, and I feel like this guy is probably the most deserving of all the names that we talked about quarterback wise to go somewhere and have some success, because I feel like he's played his ass off and played hurt. He's been a warrior. He's been
Cam Newton.
No, hell no.
Sorry.
Forget Cam Newton. Shit. I'll kick his behind out myself. I mean, Matthew Stafford, man, and I never in my wildest dreams thought I would say this. I feel like he deserves to go somewhere and win. Been with the Lions for a long time. They've never given him anything worth anything. That's the one time with, bitching and whining that I was okay with. I heard him, when he came out, I won out, they mutually found a way to they want to separate. I'm like, you know what? Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you, because he needs to go somewhere. Yeah, well, they're always going to say that. But, it's not. He went in there and said, I want to get the hell out of here. This is ridiculous. I got a coach over here talking about, biting people's kneecaps off. I mean, what the hell is this garbage? And they said, all right, we're going to let you go. Which I thought, again, it's a little weird for any team to come out and say, hey, we're going to trade this guy because you lower the value for your guy, exponentially. I mean, you're not going to get your return. But yeah, it'd be fun to see where he ends up. He's a bit of a gunslinger. You talk about the Saints. Why not Stafford with the Saints? I mean, throwing deep balls to Michael Thomas and, give him Kamara and give him some guys out there. I mean, that'd be a fun watch.
I think you got to remember Stafford was the number one pick 11 years ago. I mean, he's got over 46,000 yards, 300 touchdowns. He's going to be in their Ring of Honor. He was voted to their all-time Lions team. I mean, this guy is very similar to kind of an Archie Manning style quarterback. Good quarterback playing for a bad team. And I think that's exactly the situation he's in. No drama. You never hear anything coming out about Matthew Stafford. The guy just comes to work, does his thing, and he plays with the hand he was dealt. And now it's time for him to kind of control and be the dealer. And I think this is this is going to be big, and I'd love to see him go to a competitive team, a team with some firepower on the field, with a decent running game, with some good receivers, and really get him back to the Calvin Johnson days, where he's out there slinging it, and it's fun to watch Matthew Stafford, where he's a viable option on a fantasy football team.
It always leads back to fantasy. And you know
Always.
what? At the end of the day, Clyde, I will say my New England bias. I am going to throw this here. Out of the names there, honestly, I mean, to me, that's the guy that I would like to see in New England. I mean, I know Deshaun Watson, if he goes, I just don't think it's going to happen. I think there's more of a realistic chance of a guy like Matthew Stafford ending up in New England. And with their cap situation moving forward this year, I think they can surround him with some pieces. They can get him some guys. They can coach him up there. That's a place that I think Stafford would thrive in. To have that stability, which again for him, he that's one of the things he hasn't had either through his years with the Lions. No kind of coaching stability, whether it be head coaches or coordinators coming through. It's just been a revolving door at both of those positions. To go to a place like New England where they have a coach that's been there forever, they have a coordinator that has a system that's been there forever. Those two have an understanding of each other, coach and coordinator. To bring in a guy like that, I think Stafford would be a great fit in New England. Again, their cap situation, they can bring in some guys. Again, like I said, trade for Julio Jones and, give him a guy like that to throw the football to. Or maybe even a guy like Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas has been throwing a lot of shade out there on social media to the Saints. He's all lovey-dovey with about Tom Brady yesterday all day long. I mean, it wasn't like one post. I mean, he was just like going off on it. It's like, Jesus Christ, bro.
Well, you got to remember, Sammy Watkins is going to be out there too. He's going to be available. Most likely, Chris Godwin's going to be available. I mean, there's going to be some good receivers that are going to be on the market to go along with that. And I think if whoever ends up with him, if they don't already have some firepower, I think it'll allow them to make a trade. If they can secure Stafford, maybe make some moves, maybe trade down, maybe open up some space somewhere, and get a decent receiver or two. Maybe even a tight end. I mean, right now, the way the future right now are these big, huge tight ends that are just running people over. And I think you and I enjoy watching that more than we like watching these high flyers with the wide receivers. Is I want to see the George Kittles and the Kelseys and then Ndamukong Suh and Njoku and Darren Waller. Those guys go up there and get it and run somebody over.
Yeah, and when you look at Matt Stafford, I mean, he's only 32 years old. So he still has some years in him. I know that he's been banged up, but he still has some years left in him, especially in this NFL where they protect quarterbacks as much as they do. Mm-hmm. Again, a place like New England, that's a guy that I can see a team like New England taking, a run at because he has years left. You know what I mean? It's either you draft a guy or you want a guy that's going to give you years down the road. I don't see them going after Aaron Rodgers because they're not a quick fix away. You know what I mean? They're not an insert quarterback and let's compete type of deal. They're not Tampa of last year trying to replace their, quarterback for a guy like Brady, and look at them now. You know what I mean? They're a team that needs a little bit of work to get going. I wonder if your team will make a run at any of these guys. An Aaron Rodgers or something like that. Who knows what's going to happen with that coming back and his injury. They have a team with some wideouts. They have a running game. They have a bunch of pieces there. Now.
They could let him walk. They could let him walk.
And then say insert an Aaron Rodgers. And and what can happen
Stafford.
there? Can you imagine Aaron Rodgers slinging the ball to CeeDee Lamb? And
can you imagine me wearing an Aaron Rodgers football jersey to the draft?
Oh man, God, I'd be vomiting all over the floor. Well, I mean, it'd be disgusting.
Here's another thing to remember: is Detroit's got the number 7 pick in the draft, so they could go for like a Justin Fields, and I think they know that. And I think, I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles make a play for Matthew Stafford and maybe go out there and snag like a Devontae Smith from Alabama. And now you've got immediate fixed there in Philly with your receiver situation and your quarterback situation, and you free up some space and kind of let Wentz go off into slow retirement with his walker, because the guy can
Slow retirement. He
the
just got in the league.
guy breaks his back every other year. I mean, I don't know what has he got? What is it called? Weak cartilage? Is that what it is? Is that the term?
I'll tell you what. I mean, it does make sense what you're saying, because then you can package a guy like Wentz to, say, the Colts and try to get something in return. And now all of a sudden you have a quarterback, you have a wide receiver, and you have additional maybe picks to try to pick some guys up.
The Eagles have 8 picks
along.
in the draft. They have 8 picks in the draft.
I mean, hey,
so
that's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. It's going to be interesting. There's a lot of teams that have made moves over the last couple of years, like Miami, for example. They're another team that has a bunch of draft capital moving into this draft, and they have a guy, a quarterback that's only 1 year in the league, that guys may want, other teams may want to make a run for, with Tua. Maybe they believe in a guy like that. If they can land Watson and give up, a guy like Tua and, maybe a pick, and then they can take that. I mean, can you imagine Watson in there and they select the guy out of Alabama, Devontae Smith, with their pick? I mean, all of a sudden, you have this wide receiver quarterback, combo. And they have a running game over there. They have a couple of guys that are running the football. Their defense is stout. All of a sudden, you're looking at the AFC East going, man, the Bills, the Dolphins, New England with a bunch of cap space, and and then you have the Jets taking the dump like they do every other year. So
I saw a video. It was if the Chiefs and the Jets could combine their teams, they would have the greatest team in the NFL. And they went down each roster position, and it was all Kansas City Chiefs players. Like, that's how bad the Jets are.
Yeah, but you know what? Ironically enough, I mean, you have a guy like Watson that wants to go there. And if you're the Jets, I mean, that's music to your ears that you have a guy like that wants to come to your franchise, but that will help you bring guys in.
I mean...
Yeah, but then you can go out there and you can package that up for somebody out there and get a big-time wide receiver that is maybe proven in the league.
So you're saying the Jets trade the 2 pick to get Deshaun Watson, and the 2 pick and probably some other stuff, because he's worth way more than the number 2 pick. Probably going to be a couple first rounders, a couple players. I wouldn't be surprised if I see a couple second round picks go too. But you're saying the Jets potentially could trade the 2 pick and go after Deshaun Watson, essentially giving Houston more draft picks.
Yeah. The problem with that is, for the Jets with that is, unfortunately, and I'll backtrack a little bit. If they do give up the 2 pick, I mean, you're just getting a quarterback, and then what? You know what I mean? They're not, again, a quarterback away from being a competitive team. They need some weapons. They need to be able to get some guys around it.
But you've got to have that core piece. I think, look at Cleveland. Look at when they brought in Baker. They went and they got Jarvis Landry. They went and got OBJ. They drafted Njoku. They got Austin Hooper. They got who's the running back? Both the running backs, Kareem Hunt.
They have Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Yeah,
they built that team around Baker, and look at what happened. I could see the Jets possibly doing that, taking Deshaun Watson, because you know what you're getting with him. So many times you go into the draft and you have the 1 pick, 2 pick, 3 pick, and you take a quarterback, and it doesn't work out. You look at Jacksonville with Blake Bortles. You look at Tim Couch. You look at Ryan Leaf. You look at these guys that were high picks, and it just didn't work out. Granted, Cleveland can't draft for shit anyways, but that this could definitely be. I'm with you on this. I'm fully supporting this prediction that you just half-assed made and didn't really mean to, that the Jets are going to trade the 2 pick for Deshaun Watson.
That's my brilliance. That just
genius.
It just naturally oozes out and just it just all comes out. You know what I mean? And it just happens. So we'll see what happens with that. It's good. Again, it's going to be interesting. This is going to be the off season this year is going to be. It's going to be like an NBA off season. I have a feeling where just crap happens like every day.
All over the place.
You know what I mean? And you're like, you're sitting there on your phone all day long, just looking at stuff going, holy crap, man, and that happened. Oh, hey, and we're going to be texting back and forth. Bro, did you hear this happen? Man, did you hear that happen? This guy's going
we
where?
might
I
have to
mean,
live stream while the draft is on. I think we might have to just do the
holy.
whole first round.
I mean,
Because
it's
you look at the one pick. Jacksonville needs a quarterback. Jets need a
mm-hmm.
quarterback. Dolphins potentially making a move for Deshaun Watson, trading the 3 pick, which could turn into a quarterback in Houston. The Falcons need a quarterback.
Yeah.
The Bengals
and they're going to blow it up.
Yeah.
The Falcons are going to blow that thing up. Their
Yep.
head coach or the owner already said, let's blow this thing up. He has no problems with that.
Yep.
So can you imagine Matt Ryan and Julio Jones on the trading block? I mean, to add to Stafford, Aaron Rodgers potentially, Watson. I mean, all of a sudden it's like, holy crap. I mean, plus whatever the slew of free agents that are going to be out there.
I was going to say, you're throwing Trevor Lawrence in the mix now. You're throwing Justin Fields in the mix.
Yeah.
You've got all these quarterbacks. Mac Jones, is that his name from Alabama?
I believe so. And then you got the kid from, is it BYU that everybody's
BYU.
really high on?
Now you got 4 rookie quarterbacks now that are on the bubble. You don't know where they're going to go because at any moment, one of these picks could get traded for one of these other veteran quarterbacks. And now these guys are going from playing for Jacksonville or the Jets to now they're playing for, Green Bay or Houston. So it's crazy what the possibilities that could happen. I mean, honestly, I think in the top 10, maybe Dallas and the Bengals are the only 2 that don't necessarily need a quarterback. That I don't project saying, well, if they took a quarterback, I would be surprised. If the Bengals took a quarterback, they're not going to. They have Joe Burrow. Dallas has Dak. Yeah. I just don't see anybody. All these other teams, I'm like, they could take a quarterback, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a ride, man. It's gonna be fun to watch for sure. But to predict where any of these guys is gonna go,
it's fun.
It's crazy, man. It's just it makes for good talk radio, or for, in this case, good talk for our podcast, because I mean it's just it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome to see it. And then next year, we're going to have to try to figure out who the hell is on what team. Mm-hmm. And we're all just kind of landed and shaped up. So, yeah, man, that's the guy. Honestly, Stafford is probably, of all the names of the guys that are going to be available quarterback wise, that's the guy that I'm most excited about, because I feel, if anything, I guess rooting for the underdog in a sense, I feel like he just deserves to have something good happen to him, from all, injuries that he's had because the team has been so poor, and he's trying to play the best he can with a shoddy offensive line or whatever the case may be, no wide receiver, no right, whatever it is. And he's getting his ass whipped out there because of it. Mm-hmm. And playing through all of that, he deserves a shot to do something good. And I hope he does. I mean, I hope he ends up somewhere that's going to give him a legitimate shot at playing for something into late in the season and into the playoffs. So, yeah, I mean, bitching and whining at its finest with Deshaun Watson and Aaron Rodgers. Not so much with Matthew Stafford, I think.
Yeah. But I think, I think we covered all of the NFL. We've got a couple little tidbits to touch on. Big shout out to Cole Anthony and the Orlando Magic tonight, pulling out the win against the Hornets. Cole Anthony sets a career high with 21 points. Vooch doing his thing as usual with 28 and 12. Aaron Gordon with a double-double as well. This is what we needed to see out of Cole Anthony. It's time for him to step up. Charlotte, good game, I guess. They had 3 guys with over 20 points. But no match for Cole Anthony and the Magic. So always good to see that.
It's set up for a back-to-back with the same team, which this whole COVID scheduling, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, how it's kind of doing this where teams, it's almost like a little mini series. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty cool. They played last night. The Magic found themselves down, then they got the lead, and then they coughed it up at the end. And then in this game tonight, they got themselves down again and were able to get up and finally hold on. It's unfortunate because I think we're seeing for sure how much of a factor Markelle Fultz and that injury is having on an impact on the Magic. I agree with you with Cole Anthony. I like the fact that he's out there. He had a game winner last week, putting up 21 points, career high tonight.
Yeah.
The kid is built for the NBA. I like his game. I like his attitude. You know what I mean? He looks like he wants to go out there and just whip up on people, and I like that. I think the Magic need that. But it just sucks, man. We just can't have nice things when it comes to the Magic, can't we?
Well, Mo Bamba didn't
I
play
mean,
either. So, I mean, that's,
I'm done with Mo Bamba.
They would have scored 150 tonight if Mo Bamba would have played. I'm just saying.
I'm going to throw this out there because I asked Clyde about this a couple weeks ago, if he's still on with us. I want one of the guys on his team. Clyde is a big Chicago Bulls fan. And,
man, Scottie Pippen.
And let me tell you, they have a guy on their team that they do not need. He was an NBA dunk champion. And of course, now I'm freaking blanking on his name.
Thaddeus Young.
Thaddeus Young.
Zach LaVine.
No. Zach, there you go. No Vine. Zach LaVine is having a hell of a year this year, and he's stuck over there with the GOAT. He's stuck over there with the Bulls and no man's land. I think he needs to get traded to the Magic. That's the guy I don't know why I'm stuck on. I feel like
is he the one that wears the compression pants?
Well, they all do now.
He's the one that wears but he's the one that he's the one I recognized, I think, that wears the compression pants.
I think he's the one. He beat out. Did he beat out? It wasn't Dwight Howard that he beat out in the dunk contest, was it?
No, it was Aaron Gordon, wasn't it?
It was. It might have been Aaron Gordon the first time when Gordon dunked over Stuff.
Aaron Gordon should have won that. Hands down, should have won that dunk contest. And I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, and then he did, some weak, 1 foot in front of the foul line dunk that everybody said was from the foul line. It was
basic,
crap.
Dude. Now, if you don't dunk from the 3-point line, I'm not impressed. I don't care how far behind the free throw line you are. You better be at the 3-point line now trying to dunk because it's been done.
You're like 8 feet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You dunking from the foul line is like, us dunking on a 5-foot rim. Yeah, I mean, for crying out loud.
These guys, you had Muggsy Bogues, or not Muggsy Bogues. Sorry, you had Spud Webb. You had those little guys that were winning dunk contests, okay?
Nate Robinson.
Well, you got a guy that's 6'9", 6'10", that his head can hit the top of the backboard. There's no reason you shouldn't be dunking from the 3-point line. I'm sorry.
None.
I'm sorry.
None. Yeah, but that's the guy that I want on the Magic. I feel like the Magic need to make a move.
Lace up the PF Flyers, guaranteed to make you run faster and jump higher. Put the PF Flyers on and get it going.
Okay. Who said Gordon is a beast? Well, at dunking maybe, but on the basketball court, he, in a game situation, that's the guy that I
every night.
I wish the Magic would trade him. I really do.
You want to trade him for Zach LaVine?
I would do that every day, Oh, bro, it's offense versus whatever you get from Aaron Gordon.
Well, clearly Zach LaVine's a better dunker too. I mean, according to the trophy room.
I tell you, man. And now he's got this hair thing going this year. I don't know what the hell he's got going on. He's a disaster.
I will mention, just sticking on the basketball topic, not to switch topics, but my Gonzaga Bulldogs are still number 1 in the country. Just saying. Just
regular season team.
15-0. Just throwing it out there.
Oh wait, hold on. Clyde says that's a good trade. So you would take Aaron Gordon, Clyde, for Zach LaVine.
Ooh.
I am. I'm kind of surprised. I'm a little surprised because Zach LaVine is having. Damn it! Now I'm gonna have to pull up Zach LaVine's stats. He's having a hell of a year this year.
He dropped like 25 and 9 the other night, didn't he?
I think he might be like the leading scorer in the league right now.
I don't like something about his eyes. I don't like. You can't trust his eyes. He's averaging 26.8 points a game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists.
Dude's 25 years old.
He was born in 1995.
All right, Clyde, what do you want for him? All right, we'll give you Aaron Gordon. We'll
I don't want him.
Stuff.
I'm just saying.
We'll throw in Stuff and
Carlos
maybe some
Arroyo.
Magic dancers.
We'll give you JJ Redick. How about that?
Yeah. We'll pull JJ back over here and we'll go ahead and throw him your way.
Pull him from whatever random team he's playing on this year.
Yeah, it's
I think he's in. Is he in Charlotte?
Who's that? JJ Redick?
Yeah, or is he still playing overseas?
No, JJ Redick's with the Pelicans, man.
Oh, the Pelicans. I knew it was somewhere down there, Charlotte. New Orleans kind of area.
He's over there feeding. What's his name? Big man over there. from Duke. Man, these names are escaping me today for
From
crying out
Duke.
loud. Yeah. Come on, Clyde, help me
Carlos
out.
Boozer?
No,
Oh,
man.
man, that guy was a legend. That guy was a
Carlos
Duke
Boozer.
legend.
Come on. Come on. No, he's still doing well, man. That's a guy that I wouldn't mind seeing with the Magic. He's a good veteran guy that the Magic need. They don't have that presence, and that actually would be great
Yeah.
for the Magic to add a guy like that. Zion, thank you, Clyde. Man, I have to get Clyde on here. We're gonna have
Oh,
to
yeah.
get Clyde added to another window here.
I would take Carlos Boozer over Zion Williamson any day. Boozer in his
Zion
prime.
needs Zion needs to be careful, or he's gonna end up being Sean Kemp. That
Yep.
body of his, they need to get him a fitness guy.
Put him on the James Harden diet.
Yeah, I'm saying,
He lost like
if
30 pounds
if he
in
doesn't
3
watch
hours.
out, he can bulk up here pretty quick and not in a good way. But yeah, I think the Magic need to make a move for some some offense. They just struggle. Booch, they're wasting that guy. He's the top 5 center in the league, maybe a top 3 center in the league, all-star this year. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
I mean, easily an all-star this year.
But again, Orlando, for how long? Orlando has always been a feed the big man type of team. I mean, they did it with Shaq. They did it with Dwight. They're doing it with Vooch. I mean, again, they're missing the pieces that made them great when they had Dwight. They're missing the pieces that made them great when they had Shaq. I don't know, man. I don't know. What do you bring Scott Skiles back? We got to bring back old Scotty Skiles.
No. I like their coach. I think Clifford is doing a good job with the team. They defensively they struggle. They haven't been consistent defensively this year. I agree with Clyde. Evan Fournier is another guy that while he's given them a little bit of a boost coming back from his injuries, they need to get rid of, and they need to probably get rid of him quick because he's starting to have some back spasms, which means those are never good. They need to start moving on from guys like that. Package him and Gordon up and go get yourself somebody. Go rent, a star for a year. Do something. You have to make a splash, some way, somehow, to take advantage of some of the guys that you have.
Well, the tough thing now is you don't have to sell tickets anymore to games, and that's I think the biggest issue with the NBA is you used to go after guys to sell tickets, to make money, to sell merchandise. Now it's like, well, we can just be subpar, and then maybe when the pandemic's over, we'll have enough money to go and get somebody. I'm going to assume that's Orlando's plan. Is they're waiting for the COVID pandemic to end so that they can go after a big name and start selling some tickets, because I don't understand. Like when Dwayne Bacon has the coolest jersey on your team, it's not saying much.
Seriously, they're just kind of stuck in that middle ground, and where you don't want to be in the NBA. You just don't want to be one of the guys in the middle there.
You're not even a bottom feeder. You're just
right. You don't know how to tank, and you don't know how to win. What the hell do you know how to do? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just it's a tough situation there. But yeah, man. Finally they get into the win column. They pick up a win there. The
one game out of the playoffs.
That's the crazy thing. I was about to say. The crazy thing about that is that they're still right there. The East is still, kind of top heavy. So they have a shot to get in there. And he says, y'all fighting for the AC. Who are you? What are you fighting for? Are you even in there, bud?
Let me see. No.
Chicago's nowhere near it. They have Billy Donovan over there,
Orlando,
right?
with one less loss.
Yeah.
They need to work on their defense. They're giving up 120 points a game. Whew. By the way, that is the league worst. No, it's not. Sorry. Sacramento. They have the second worst defense in the league when it comes to points against.
Billy Donovan over there as your head coach. But yeah, man, there's still some teams that can get their crap together. The Miami Heat, are sitting down there. They're bottom feeding. The Knicks are holding on to the 8th spot.
Is in that spot too. 8-8. And again, this is what's happening to Golden State right now is what is going to happen to Kansas City if they're not careful. Is injuries. They lost some of their guys. The contracts ran out. And, when you're worth a lot of money, I'm sorry. I don't care how many wins or how many championships I'm going to get. At the end of the day, you're playing to get paid. And that's how it is in the NBA. That's how these guys are. They play to get paid. Doesn't matter where they end up. They'll play for a bottom feeder team if they're making $154 million. They don't care.
Yeah. But I think that's the difference with the NBA and the NFL, and kind of bringing it full circle back to the NFL. That's what's so impressive, and I am going to throw some of my bias in there about what the Patriots were able to do for 20 or so years, because you have so many teams that go out there and sell out to try to get to a Super Bowl and to try to win it. Happened to the Rams just a couple years ago when they actually lost to the Patriots in the Super Bowl. They sold out. They went out there and grabbed Aqib Talib. They had Aaron Donald. They had a bunch of guys that they gave a lot of money to that had Ndamukong Suh. They paid a lot of money to their running back. They made a trade for a wide receiver. They did all kinds of stuff. They sold out. Boom. They didn't win the Super Bowl. They got there, but they lost. And then now you see that team slowly regressing into the point where, now they're cap strong and we're going to see what they're going to do. That's going to be the interesting part. That's going to be the interesting part with the Kansas City Chiefs. You have Mahomes, who you've given a bunch of money to. When you have to start paying some of these guys and it starts coming up, you got to start choosing guys, and you better hope that you're making the right decisions. Obviously, you pay your quarterback, so you take care of Mahomes. I think you take care of Kelsey, you take care of the Cheetah over there. But defensively, they have some guys that are playing very good football that if they're not careful and those guys walk, all of a sudden you're looking at, some of these games getting out of hand, and can the offense keep up, as long as they have. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Tampa Bay is going to something, like you said earlier, very, very similar to that. They have Tom Brady there now. They kind of sold out with all, trying to get all their pieces in there. Now they're in the Super Bowl. If they win it this year, it was worth it. If they don't, and all of a sudden you fail to even make the Super Bowl next year or to win it in this window with Tom Brady, you sold out, you got nothing for it. And then it takes years to recover, unless you're the Patriots, who even with a bunch of nobodies went out there and won 7 games. I don't know if they'll ever win a Super Bowl, in the next 20 years, but, that remains to be seen. But they did the very same thing. They sold out, over the last 4 or 5 seasons to try to get Super Bowls, and they did. And they won 3 Super Bowls in 5 years. So for them, it was worth it. So yeah, you have these teams that sell out. You better win it, because if you don't, it's a big fall all the way down, and it's not easy to get back up.
Yeah, and I think the good thing is you hate to see football coming to an end, but with hockey in full swing now, baseball is right there. It's going to give us something else to watch. I'm excited about sports. I'm excited about seeing these trades. I saw the Yankees and the Red Sox made a trade, which was
first time since 2014 that they made a trade, and it was a pitcher going to the Red Sox.
It was Adam Ottavino.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how that whole thing shakes out.
You remember that? Remember that trade back in what was it? It was 1919 for what was it? 100 grand when
some fellow there that they sold off, and they wanted
Babe Ruth. George Ruth, I think his name was George Herman Ruth.
Yeah, they wanted to finance some play or something.
That's up there.
That money.
That's up there with the Dallas, Minnesota Herschel Walker trade. that's up there in all-time bonehead trades right there, dude.
Yeah, that was ugly. That was ugly.
100 G's Babe Ruth. Not bad.
Yeah, Herman. Good old Herman. I wonder how many kids were named Herman after that.
Oh, man. I don't know too many Hermans, but then again, that was 1919, so probably not a lot around anymore.
Our boy Go Rays is going to be one of our go-to guys for baseball. He's a big baseball fan, so
good.
So we'll see. The only problem with him, he's a Rays fan. Man, not good for me.
Yeah, good for me. I'm a Braves fan, so.
Man, we got a lot of people here that just go against me.
Because
in my
you only
teams.
like the team. Every team you like is in the same spot. That's boring. Spread it out a little bit.
All right. I'm an Orlando City fan. We'll see what happens there.
Find a college team, like over in the West Coast. Be an Oregon
Yeah, nobody
Ducks
up
fan.
north. Nobody up north watches college football. Nobody. Nope. It's just the way it is.
Nobody up there is good.
No. Boston College sucks.
They
It's
got
just
a
not
good
good.
team.
Yeah, but nobody watches that crap. So
I don't think I've ever seen a college hockey game.
the bean pot, who watches the bean pot?
Never. I haven't seen a college game since the 1980 Olympics. The Miracle on Ice. That was.
I will say this about hockey this year, which is pretty cool. It is going to be, I believe, I've heard that they want to do more of the outdoor games. Typically, they hold that for kind of the New Year's game or whatever, but they want to do a little bit more of that, have some outdoor stuff. Those games tend to be real cool, real awesome, especially when it starts snowing. They're out there on the ice. It's pretty cool to watch. So hopefully we get to see a little bit more of that. The Bruins, I guess, are talking about maybe doing some of the games at Fenway Park. They've done a couple of those. Those are always fun to watch. So hopefully the NHL, baby, comes up with something like that. So it's gonna be interesting to follow along with these seasons and coming up. I think the NFL overall did a pretty good job. Had a couple of COVID issues, but they had some stuff built in and they were able to get through it. The NBA has had a couple scares here in the last couple of weeks with teams. I think they had like the Phoenix Suns go a week or a week and a half without playing a single basketball game because of COVID. It's gonna be a weird one. At the end of the day, we're gonna see the like I said, hashtag sideliners opinion. LeBron James is overrated. Probably winning another one, and I'm just gonna have to eat my words. Ain't that right, Clyde? So we'll see how that goes.
Well, we've also got golf going in full swing. As Ray said, golf. Did he say go Gophers or go Golfers?
Gophers.
I'm gonna assume he meant golfers. But yeah, we got golf in full swing. I think the when's NASCAR? NASCAR's the Daytona 500's coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some good stuff coming up. I know we're not super into golf, but we'll probably get a couple little tidbits thrown in there. Depending on who's going in.
Hey, I tell you what, that's pretty big. What Rays Rays is saying there with MLB. They're trying to have everybody vaccinated before the season starts. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about this whole vaccine and everything, but it would be, I mean, that'd be something to watch. We'll see how that.
Well, that's all I got to say about that.
No, I'm just trying to, hey, it's just going to be interesting to see. I mean, people just, I guess, are going to feel a lot more confident just out there because they're vaccinated. I mean, nothing's going to happen to me. I don't know. I don't know how that whole thing's going to.
Are they going to be sitting in the dugout 6 feet apart? Just going to extend the dugout a little bit. No, I did see. Who was it? Conor McGregor took a loss on Saturday.
Took a loss. He got his ass put night.
Well, he took a loss.
Night for all the crap that man talks. Oh my God, he got put on his behind.
McGregor sells pay-per-view, so that's what he does. But
but when you start getting whipped up like that after enough times, what are you gonna sell?
Well, we saw with Ronda Rousey. I mean, kind of just faded off, and now I don't know what she's doing. She was in the WWE for a little bit. I don't think she's even doing that anymore. So
she's in her ranch, using up all that money.
Yeah, she was in the Expendables 3. I think that was where she peaked.
I think that's where she got. Yeah. You see, Clyde agrees with me. He didn't lose. He got Pookie knocked the bleep out. It was ugly. And then he was trying to limp off, talking about my leg and all.
Well, he left with a crutch. He had a crutch when he left, so give him the benefit of the doubt.
I will say this: he was well dressed.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm still gonna talk trash to him if I ever see him in the street. So,
I slap him with my hand open. You know what I mean? And he's like Mayweather. I wouldn't even close the fist. I just hand open.
Mayweather's never actually been punched before, so we'll see how he can take a shot.
It's because he never fought anybody.
I agree. Listen, I am a firm believer. I would love to see Floyd Mayweather lose to Logan Paul. I think it would be.
Can you imagine that? Just out of nowhere, just land something.
Just catches him with one of these, this kind of random punch, and hits him in the chin.
And then no, another one goes night. I mean, it's gonna be, Yeah, it's becoming comical now, and I hear that there's a possibility now of our guy Ryan Garcia. Remember we talked about Ryan Garcia, the young kid, a couple weeks ago. It sounds like they have something in the works with Manny Pacquiao for him to get in the ring with Manny Pacquiao, which is going to be kind of a cool fight. I mean, Manny Pacquiao still has something in the tank for everybody that is out there watching
How old
boxing.
is he?
Man, he's like 100, but still, he's like Brady. He just, he ages very gracefully, and
Sure.
he's gonna get out there and put a whooping on this kid. I think it's a mistake for him to get in there. If he lands a good punch on Pacquiao, he can put him out because he's got some pop. But Manny Pacquiao is still lightning quick. He's very, crafty in the ring. He's got a lot of angles. He'll start spinning the kid around, and before he knows it, he's all tied up in knots and getting his ass knocked out by an old man. So he's better be careful what you wish for. You just can't, can't just get in there with a legend like that and think you're just gonna whip up on him. So
Well,
that's gonna be a fun one to watch.
Well, I think we've covered everything, guys. The Twitter is blowing up with the Orlando Magic and the win tonight. If you guys are not following us on Twitter, check us out on twitter.com/talk sideline. We also post all of our videos on YouTube. If you're not following us on Sideline Sport Talk, hit us up on Instagram at Sideline Sport Talk. You guys can find us on all the socials. You can check the panels below. Just click on any one of those, and it'll take you there. But appreciate you guys hanging out tonight, man. The chat was lit. Thank you guys for hanging out. We are going to be back either late this week or mid next week. I am getting my wisdom teeth pulled on Monday next week, so I might be out of it for a few days. But we might fight through it. We might have some good stuff. Maybe I'll just sit there and look up these historical documents that I have before me with all these sports stats that blow you guys' mind. But other than
and let's
that,
work on Timmy. We'll work on some of the hashtag sideliners opinion for everybody that is new to us here this week. We're trying to start that every week. Well, we didn't touch on it this week, but we are moving forward. Just it's your opinion, hashtag sideliners opinion. You're the sideliners out there. Just come up with something that that is fun to you. It can be outrageous. It can be whatever it is. It's your opinion. We'll either clown you or we'll agree with you. So just come up with something, throw it out there. Like Timmy said, at Talk Sideline on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram as well, Sideline Sport Talk, and check us out, man. Let us know what you guys are thinking, what you guys want to talk about. Bring the heat, and we'll try to do the same. Appreciate y'all.
Definitely. You guys keep an eye out. Keep an eye out on all the stuff that's coming up, man. We got the Super Bowl coming up. We got to get some stuff together, and hopefully maybe we'll put a stream together if we can during the Super Bowl. Maybe we can watch it together. I don't know. We'll do something, but we'll figure it out. Until then, guys, we will see you on the sidelines.
Peace.